Welcome to a new lesson here on educator.com, lessons on e-marketing. And today we're going to talk about the paid component of Google. It's called Adwords. And we're going to dive right in and show you the different components of Adwords. Well, first of all, what is Adwords? Okay, and as I said before, it's about paid component of the search engine. Okay, so in a nutshell, we're not as concerned about tags and title tags because really it's all about how much you're willing to pay for that top spot. And we're going to go into that as we talk about this lesson. And of course, we want to go about the purpose behind. I mean, there's more than just a purpose for, getting the top on the search engine. There's other reasons behind. Of course, we'll talk about the benefits of AdWords and how to set up AdWords. And I'm going to add a little suggestions here and there on why you should use AdWords and how it should best benefit you and your business or your career, whatever it is that you're using it for. So let's go ahead and talk about AdWords a little bit. Okay, so Google AdWords, as you can see right here on the slide, Google AdWords is their main advertisement product. Okay, and it's also their main source of revenue, at least for now. They make about $28 billion in 2010, and it's steadily increasing because people really see the importance. Most people who use AdWords are pretty much, they've tried the free component. As I told you in a previous lesson, there's two types of search engine strategies to get on top of the search engine. And of course, there is the non-paid, okay, and I'm just going to write right here. I'm sorry if I'm being a little messy here. Or it's also called organic, okay. And with organic, you're pretty much depending upon your coding, the title tag, the description tag. We've already discussed that in a previous lesson. And if that doesn't work, and if you do have the budget for it, you want to go with the paid section. And I think this is extremely important. If your competitors are getting all your business, if they're getting all your clients and all your work, you need to make sacrifices and use the paid subscription. And here, you are still concerned about coding. You just don't want to have empty pages. And Google will want you to create quality websites, and that includes the title tags and the description tags. But it's really all about the money. It's all about bidding. Bidding. I'll change the G to a D. Bidding. And it's all about budgeting. Okay, we're going to go into that in this lesson right here. We talked about there's two types of AdWords. There is the pay per click, and then there is a CPM. And with paid per click, you're pretty much paying Google every time there is a successful click on the link. And then you can also choose a cost per thousand, which is called CPM. That's per 1,000 clicks, okay, and that might actually be a better deal. And with AdWords, you can focus on local, national, international. It all depends on your business. If you're a local mom and pop shop in California, there's no point of your ads, and it does you no good if your ads show up in, say, Idaho. Okay, so you want to be able to make sure you pinpoint exactly where you want the Google ads, and the way they do that is Google base everything on what is known as an IP address. Okay, they know where your IP address is, and an IP address, tells Google where the computer is located at. Okay. So in other words, if you have a laptop and you're at a Starbucks in Los Angeles, then you catch a flight to Dallas, okay, you're going to have a different IP address in Dallas. It's based on the location. And it's not necessarily your computer, it's pretty much the router that you're using. So based on your location, where you're at, that's where that will impact the search. And also, if you have a Google account, okay, so when you sign up for a Google account, which everyone should, you're going to specify what your hometown is. So a lot of times Google will use that information to give you the best search results. So if you're looking for movie theaters, well, Google will definitely uh, emphasize movie theaters at your location. So keep that in mind. When you are a local business, you want to focus on the local engines. If you are a national chain, okay, then obviously there's national strategies that you want to implement here with AdWords. And God willing, if you are growing so big that you get to be an international business, well, then the whole world's your oyster. And of course, the more range you're going to want to communicate to, the unfortunately, well, or maybe fortunately, the more money you have to spend. Some businesses, they love the fact that they can afford very expensive advertising revenues or advertising strategies. Okay, if they have a huge advertising budget, you're doing great in business. Some businesses are very much loving that. But for some of us, we want to stay local, and we want to actually control our budget. And Google allows you to do that. They allow you to set a budget and cap the number of times. A lot of my clients, they decide after, say, okay, with pay-per-click, maybe you want to pay 5 cents, okay, 5 cents every time someone clicks. But once it reaches $100 for the month, stop. So that advertisement will stop being displayed on Google. Okay, so hopefully you'll have more than 5 cents per click. It all depends on the keywords that you choose. Okay, keywords, and of course your competition. So if you are an attorney specialize in labor laws, you're going to have competition. But if you're an attorney specializing in labor laws in a small town and there's just a handful of you, then you may not have competition. It all depends. You got to know your business, who your competitors are, where they're located, where you're located, and go from there. All right, let's move on to the next phase right here and continue our discussion on what exactly is AdWords. Okay, so AdWords again, pretty much it allows you to display your business in a certain degree. And in recent years, Google has teamed up with other media networks, okay? And one of them happened to be AOL, and then Ask, Earthlink, and then, of course, this to me is really nice, NewYorkTimes.com, which gets an enormous amount of hits, probably in the millions of visitors per month. So if you start Google Ads, it's not limited to just within Google. It'll actually extend itself to these media networks here. AOL, Ask, Earthlink, New York Times. These are heavy, heavy players in the internet marketing, and definitely this is a nice thing to have. Of course, you will never, of course, with Google, you kind of wonder why we're talking only about Google when there's also Yahoo, okay, and MSN. Well, because Google pretty much have 85% of the market, and that in itself is sort of like, well, at 85% of the market, you talk about a very lopsided egg over here. So we want to focus on Google, but the rules that we discuss here are also applicable to Yahoo and MSN, and with that case. But we want to we're going to focus on Google. This is Google AdWords, and so we're going to be focusing on the rules. And of course, with Google AdWords, it only applies to Google AdWords. So these are the media networks that it shows up on. I definitely encourage you to find out. You can go to AOL.com, okay, and Ask.com, Earthlink. All these are major, what is known as web portals. Okay, and web portals are an all-purpose websites. Okay, so they offer things like news, sports, info, entertainment, things of that nature. You can get a lot of information there. They also have their own embedded search engine, so you can search for it. Yahoo and MSN are pretty much the pioneers of the web portals. Google, well, I mean, they are a web portal, but not really. They're more of a search engine, because if you go to yahoo.com right now, and pause this tape, if you go to yahoo.com, you're going to see a lot of news and information of what's happening in the world right now. Whereas in Google, basically all you just have is the Google title bar and then the logo and, of course, the search term. But Google, if you type in a celebrity or if you type in a president or dignitary or a nation, it will display the news that's happening. You can go ahead and personalize your Google page as well if you create an account. Again, you want to create, I'm going to write it down, create a Google account. Okay. You're going to have to do that anyways if you want to use Google AdWords. So with this in mind, let's see what AdWords look like in the next slide over here. Okay. As I said before, this section right here is a freebie. That's what you call organic. This right here, this section where it's shaded in yellow, and of course all this are paid. And that's done through AdWords. So it appears over here, and it's all based on how much money or what your budget is. Okay, and if I was to, right here, I'm going to go ahead and beef this up a little bit. If you see right here, this box right here is a larger representative of this box here. And if I was to type in domain name, as you can see right here, domain.com, it starts with the title of the advertisement, which I will show you at a later time in this lesson. The web address, of course, extremely important, and then a little description, kind of a little log line, if you will. That kind of, you demonstrate or you state an important feature or sales or a business or a service that you're offering. In this case, get started with a .com for only $3.99. Register yours today at domain.com. $3.99 domain names, that's the cheapest I've seen. Anyway, this is what they want to advertise, and this is what they want to demo. You have complete control over what is said over here. And the fact that these guys are on top of the list tells me that they did everything right. They got their title right. They've got their description tag right. Okay, and of course, they paid more than the rest. Or actually not so much more, because Google does emphasize the quality of the page. So, you want to definitely have your title tag right and your description tag right. You want to play the game. That's pretty much the same as an organic search. So you want to go back to the previous lesson that we've discussed about organic search. But of course, the bottom line is the money. Okay, so if you can outbid your competitors, chances are you will rank high above your competitors. But if you have a lousy website where there is no title tag and no description tag, yeah, Google will penalize you. Okay, they'll probably still give you a fair shot or top of maybe in the first or few pages of the Google search, depending on your budget. But they definitely prefer a quality website where all the components and all the rules are followed. It amazes me that people look for answers from everybody and anybody. They're webmasters, marketing gurus, but they don't ask Google themselves. Why don't you just go ahead and do a keyword search? What does Google look for in SEO? Type that in. You'll get answers straight from Google themselves. Okay, so anyways, I just kind of find that pretty funny. And also, this section right here, again, like I said, is called AdWords. But here's a genius thing why you want to have AdWords, why you want to create an account with AdWords. Because Google allows this section to appear on private websites. So here's a website, Phi Beta Kappa Society. It's a nonprofit. But what Google does is that it offers business owners or website owners the opportunity to share revenues they generate from these AdWords. So the owners over here will make a fraction of the money that Google make. I don't know how much, it all depends. Probably not much, but they'll make some money if they embed AdWords into their own website. Now, I just have to copy and paste these guys. Okay, again, this is about domain names. This really has nothing to do with the Phi Beta Kappa Society. But what Google will do is that it'll allow you to embed keywords, or actually AdWords, that is relevant. Okay, relevant to website. Okay, so if you were an eye doctor, okay, you might have AdWords about frames, contact lenses, eye care, diets for your eyes, things of that nature. And it's wonderful because you as a business owner, if you do have, say, a contact lens store, or if you are a specialist when it comes to food for your eyes, you definitely want to use AdWords because it might appear on any eye doctor that decides to use AdWords. And believe me, at $28 billion, okay, for the AdWords program, okay, a lot of people want to benefit from that. And this feature is called AdSense. This is not the AdSense is pretty much the idea of, let me go ahead and write it over here, the idea of allowing business owners, I'll put biz owners, to share revenue from AdWords. Okay, AdWords. Forgive me for the messiness, but hopefully you're hearing me out. So, AdSense allows website owners to share revenues from AdWords. AdWords is something that we're teaching you here, which you're going to have to create. You do the paying. AdSense, Google pays the owner. So it's really cool. You may want to add this to your own website if it's relevant. If you're a pet, if you run a dog walking website, you may want to use AdWords to promote local stores that sell dog food or dog collars or anything that has to do with dogs. So at any rate, great idea, but for the people who are paying for AdWords, think about the benefits here. Your advertisement is not just limited, again, to Google. As we had mentioned before, it's also showing up on those networks, as I mentioned, AOL, New York Times, and now it's also appearing on the websites of people who are relevant to the AdWord that you want to promote. So it's pretty cool. It's really good. So it's not just limited to Google. So again, hopefully you'll understand the value of your dollars. This is going to be sent out to pretty much has a potential of being seen by millions and millions of people. So that's the benefit of AdWords. Again, let's go ahead and talk about what this is. Now, I showed you that website, Phi Beta Kappa. This is what's called contextual targeting. If you sell digital cameras, your ads may show up in photography blogs. Okay, so it's not just end camera review sites. So again, the previous slide I showed you about how I showed you the AdWords appeared on the right-hand side is called contextual targeting. And then there's placement targeting, which allows you to target your message where you think it's best. So you decide as well when you set up an account where you want your ads to show up. Okay, so if you think that your digital cameras should also show up with film studios or even actors or models who are very aware of the type of camera that they want to use, well, hey, that's up to you to decide. Google gives you a lot of control over things, and I would definitely be very aware of that. And otherwise, there's contextual targeting. Okay, you allow Google to decide based on the keywords, and that's the thing I want you to remember. It's based on keywords that you choose. Okay? Now, in the previous lesson, I showed you pretty much where to look for keywords. So rewind or go back to a previous lesson where we talk about keyword search and how to find the most popular keywords out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to pretty much go over the terms again. I'm going to open up a browser. Okay, first thing you need to do again, if you haven't done so already, pause this video right now and create a google.com. So go to google.com. Okay, and on the upper right hand corner you will see sign in, or if you know how to do this, go ahead and sign up for a Google account. When you've done that, come back and we'll continue this lesson. For those of you who already have a Google account, let's go ahead to a browser. All right, and let's talk about more. So if you go to accounts.google, or actually if you type in, let's go back one, and let's go ahead and on this upper right hand corner. Sorry, this is kind of slow today. I'm going to type in Adwords right here. Okay, let's go ahead and log right in. All right, so here we see is the search results. Obviously, it's going to be on top. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. There you go. So the first thing that Google allows you to do is do a general keyword tool. So I explained this in a previous lesson, so refer back to that lesson if you need to help you decide which is the best keyword for your website. Be very honest about yourself, which keyword you think is going to be good. Just because a lot of people select that keyword may not be the best for you, because I'll tell you, if it's a popular keyword, a lot of people are searching, then that's because maybe a lot of sites are looking for that keyword. So again, I talked about different domain names or different keywords used, such as your location, your specialty, your purpose. And so anyways, we're going to go back a page or two, so I can go back to let me just go back one more page if I can. There, oh, that's not it. Let me go ahead and sign out right here. So I want to go to Google AdWords, and let's go right here. Okay, this is where I want to be. All right, so if you type in Google AdWords, if you click on the very first link right here, Google AdWords, it'll take you to this page here that further explains the beauty of Google AdWords. All right, and it'll tell you how it works, how to create your ads. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. It'll tell you about how to reach your customers, expand pretty much everything that I've explained in this lecture here. And then it'll talk about cost. You can set your budget. You can pay your bills. So yes, you do have to enter your billing information, obviously. And then, of course, with local businesses, it targets your ads locally, which pretty much is important. Okay, so of course you can read the success stories on your own time. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is type in my email, because I already have a Google account. So pardon me as I go ahead and type myself in. And okay, let's go ahead and sign right in. And as you can see, this is the platform for Google AdWords management. Okay, so you can see the Google top right hand corner. Okay, I will try to do the best that I can to navigate. I know it's kind of hard to see from where you're at, but pretty much you can go ahead and set up your campaign. It'll ask you if I want to go. Oops, sorry. Let's see where we are. There we are. So if I wanted to create a new campaign, okay, I'll press this button right here, and it'll take you to the steps of the new campaign. So if I put campaign number 2, okay, I can decide the location and the languages. In this case, I'm going to pretty much stick to the United States and Canada. Okay, it'll ask me what language. Okay, English is universal language, so I'll stick with that. Then it'll ask me network devices. If you don't know the answer to all these questions, it pretty much sets everything by default. So if it's already selected in a radio button, just leave it alone. And then, of course, the billing and the budget. And here you want to manually set your bids for click, or they'll give you a recommendation to some degree, I would imagine. Adwords will set my bids to help maximize my clicks. So based on the keywords that you choose, they're going to make a recommendation. Let's just put it, default. Okay, let's go ahead and say default bid, let's say $4, and we won't go more than $40 a day, although that's kind of steep in my budget. But we'll go ahead and save and continue, and let's see what it says. Oh, you can't because you haven't entered your billing information. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't want to set up my billing information right now, and especially not on camera. But the next thing that they ask you is a type of ad, whether you want a text ad, an image ad, a display ad banner. A text ad looks something like this, and that's what's the most commonly used. If you want to use an image ad, you can. You can go ahead and upload an image, but pretty much you can set the, this is the headline, so if I was going to say, okay, learn all sorts of okay, let's just put in educator.com, okay, and then description line, learn math, web design, e-marketing. Then there's a second line, very affordable, and we are here at educator.com, very affordable. And then we definitely want to display the URL and then the destination URL, and this is what it will look like right here. Okay, so, and then we got to select the keywords, okay, and you can add, and then you just, like in this case, we may choose algebra, okay, online courses. Did I spell algebra right? Spelling was never my forte. Online courses, okay, HTML 5.0, which is a course that I taught, and then of course there's e-marketing. All right, so all these traffics that you can go ahead and decide what is the best for your business, and then once you save and continue to billing, you'll enter your billing information, and that's pretty much it. And then let's see how it shows up, and you will be able to come back to this and this platform here, and it'll give you tools and analysis. It'll, of course, we'll talk about Google Analytics at a later lesson, and you can find out how much traffic is coming to your website. This is an empty account, so there's not much you're going to see right here, but it does give you the tools to measure the success overall of your campaign. And I think it's a very good model that Google has. I think you need to be on top of Google, and you need to take advantage of the technology and the opportunity, and especially the amount of visitors that go on Google on a daily basis, okay, millions. So I'm going to go back to the slides right now. Okay, let's move it up a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, this is what your ad looks like. You've got the title, okay, again, we've entered those in the fields, the domain name, and then, of course, a little description of what you're promoting. And finally, here are my suggestions. Okay, so make sure you target locality first. So you want to, even if you are a chain, okay, even if you are a national chain, if you are an automotive brake specialist, but you are a national chain, you want to focus on your location. Okay, if you are a manager of that location, you want to focus on the hometown. And no further than that. Don't worry about other chains, okay? You're working for the people of your neighborhood. And same thing, of course, with a small business. That's pretty obvious. So you want to target your locality first, and then make sure you target your specific website. So if you, in other words, if you're a chain, you want to have if you can somehow manage to enter your own specific website, or if it's a landing page, you want to be able to do that as well. Set up a reliable budget at first, and then increase and decrease accordingly. If 5 cents a click or 10 cents a click is not working, you may want to upgrade to a quarter a click, or even $1 a click. Okay, or if your monthly budget of $500 is not working, may want to upgrade of that. I know people who spend about $3,000 a month on Google AdWords, and their return on investment is 3 times the amount, $9,000 a month. So I would say that's a pretty darn good investment. And of course, finally, give it a chance. Okay, so I think that Google AdWords, I highly recommend it. I use it. I'm benefiting from it, and I'm sure you will too. This is Jim at educator.com, lessons on e-marketing. Stay tuned for the next lesson when we go on to Facebook.